Have you ever heard that your experience can lie to you? And I don't mean like some freakonomics deep study that says, for every every time a 7-Eleven is robbed, here's what all the details that everybody gets wrong because they can't rely on their own experience. I mean our personal experience that affects us in either starting or growing a business. Case in point, hypothetical here, not a personal experience, but let's say you had this grandfather, and this grandpa is this old, wise gentleman that doles out this brilliant advice like, if somebody hits you, you make sure you double up your fist and you hit them back, son. And he's telling this to a toddler. Or, somebody that says you always forgive, but you never forget. Or somebody else that, grandpa that says, spend every dime that you got because you never know if you're going to live this whole life or not. Now, that grandpa can really brag about the years of experience, and I've heard this before. Well, I've got 4 kids, and every one of them grew up just fine and dandy, and they all have kids, and none of them's axe murder, so I must be doing something pretty well. And why axe murder is always the benchmark, I have no idea, but that's just kind of the way it's been for a long time. There are 8 billion people on planet Earth. Every one of them have been born to parents. Not all of them raised by parents, but whatever. Being a parent is cool, it's fun, it's awesome, it's tough, and it builds a lot of experience, but it doesn't necessarily give us all of the experience we need to dole out advice to other people or to take our parenting to the next level just because we have years of experience. So, case in point, I work a lot with startups and with existing businesses. Startups, it's not uncommon. I'll have somebody come to see me that's roughly my age. I'm 47, and they'll want to launch their new career. Let's say it's a banker and now they want to be a consultant. If I talk to them, what are you going to do? Who are you going to work with? They say, well, I'm just relying on my years of experience. Cool. What experience? I've been just doing this for 25 years and I got a good grasp of it. Great. What does that mean? I'm just a people person. Okay. You've got to be able to translate experience into skills. Going to meetings, being willing to pick up the telephone and talk to somebody. All of these things are fine. They're not skills. They're not translatable in a lot of cases. You have to be willing to build career capital in order to create the skills necessary and not just rely on experience that's kind of lied to you at this point. Same with an existing business. If I take somebody that's been open for 10 years and they've got a handful of employees and they've just kind of stagnated, when I want to talk to them about growth, I get well, this is the way we've done it all the way up to this point, and we're still here, so we must be doing something right, relying on experience. I mean, based off that example, the post office is a wild success because it's been around for decades on end, yet we know that they've got issues. Same with your business experience. You have to continue to build new skills. You can't rely on the same networking event that you've been attending forever. You can't rely on the same onboarding process with your clients, especially if you're getting client turnover. You can't rely on not really training your employees because we've never really trained them before. We've just had them follow Joe Bob around and he taught them how to do everything. So, with a startup or an existing business, your experience can lie to you. It's up to us to do a few different things. First and foremost, let's say 3 things. You want to learn a new skill regularly, whatever that skill might be in an area that you're a little weak in. I love for all of us to play to our strengths, but let's say I'm not great at reading and reviewing financial statements, even though I know that's where a lot of my business information is. Maybe you need to take a class and learn more about how to read a P&L. Better yet, maybe you need to take a webinar on how to sell or take a Toastmasters class on how to present. Second, read. I know that's the old school. Everybody says, well, I like to read and reading's this. And average people I talk to, a lot of them, even some of the successful ones, they're not really readers. They read news websites and blogs occasionally. And reading can be listening, but a book, a long form, not doom scrolling book. Got our 10-year-old registered for high school yesterday, and you see this poster up about why kids need to read 20 minutes a day. If they read 20 minutes a day, that'll be 1.8 million words per year. A kid that reads 8 minutes a day is in the 90th percentile of or 8 minutes, 20 minutes a day is in the 90th percentile of kids their age at a reading level. If they read 10 minutes a day, they're at 50%. If they're reading 1 minute a day, which is more than most adults, they're down at 10%. So think of all of the interaction you can get by just reading or listening to one book a month. And then, lastly, join a coaching group, any kind of coaching group that where other people are pushing themselves beyond their existing experience, where they have an area of expertise in a place that you may not. If you need more skills, working with digital marketing, find you a digital marketing or a person in a group that can give you a hand. If you need help with your leadership ability because your team isn't quite where they want it to be, find somebody that's got more people under them. Those three things, blocking out time to learn something new, reading, and joining a coaching group can help overcome the aspect of your experience lying to you. And as far as that grandpa goes, thank you, Mr. Alvin. As far as that grandpa goes, let's say if he is or isn't real, all four of his kids grew up. How do you think all of his grandkids turned out? I'll let you just guess. I won't tell you, but whatever you're picturing is exactly right. And that's a whole different topic for a different day about generational issues and how people did themselves with their experience.